Welcome into Raiders Game Day, everybody. Amber Theoharis along with James Jones and Eric Allen. And here we go again, another loss at home as the Raiders lose, this time to a 2-win team, and that's what makes this hard to digest. They also lose to a rookie quarterback who really looked rough in his first debut against the Ravens a week ago. You got to hand it to Shedeur Sanders, came out and won the game for the Browns. But 24-10, and I think one of the hard things is that this offense ran 72 plays and came up with 10 points. So, EA, some of your observations.
Well, two bad teams, basically. And when you get down to it, it's really about the quarterback play on both sides. That's what everybody wants to see. This young quarterback on the other side, how was Geno going to come out of his slump? How was the offense going to help him be able to mount a comeback? And just very difficult to see this offense just kind of struggle, you know, run the football, no explosive plays for the most part, not able to really kind of put your hat on any one thing. And the defensively, for the most part, played a pretty good football game, but just not able to overcome the lack of just kind of creativity on the offensive side of football. Just a sad day for Raider Nation.
Yeah, kudos to our defense because our defense came out and they did their job. They played some good football. Offensively, if you can't protect the quarterback, you ain't got no chance. If you can't run the football, you don't got no chance. And that's basically what our offense was today. We could not protect Geno. We gave up 10 sacks. We could not run the ball. We was behind the sticks the whole game. We was second and long. We was third and long the whole game. No explosive plays. Couldn't get nothing going. Didn't score a touchdown till late in the game. And that's tough, man. You know, but defense, hey, that's back-to-back games, them doing their job. Offensively, we're still struggling to find our way.
Yeah, we are. Defensively, when you look over at the other side, you think this would be a great opportunity for our guy Max and, of course, Garrett to kind of get after it. And they both did an amazing job. It's just that Garrett just had a little more help, particularly in the coverage aspect of defense. So just one of those situations where you have to figure there has to be a time where the youth needs to be served for this football team.
Yeah.
And we need to see the younger guys continuing to have an effect on this football team to see what we have going towards next year.
And that's a good discussion. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But take a look at the full game stats right now and see what happened. Look, Geno Smith threw the ball, well, he tried to throw the ball 44 times, 44 pass attempts. That's a week after he tried to throw the ball 46 times. So in a time when the pass rush of the Browns was on fire, and you have Myles Garrett coming for you, record-setting. Look, neither team was able to run the ball. Neither team was good on third down. They're about 25%. But look at the time of possession. I mean, the Raiders held the ball for 13 more minutes and came up with 14 less points.
Yeah.
There was the interception, you know, the Charles Snowden interception, gave them the ball at the 26. That's really the closest that the offense got. And they went backwards, had to settle for 3 points. Yes, the offensive line continues to be the story, and we know they're banged up. But take a look at the Browns' pass rush, what they did against this team. We said they had 10 sacks. Myles Garrett, I think we have those stats. Yeah, Myles Garrett had 3 sacks, 2 forced. Yep, 2 tackles for loss. 20 times Geno Smith was hit. Hurries, 16 times. He was sacked 10 times. And look, he got up and showed frustration.
Yeah.
You don't want to see that, but you kind of understand it at the same time. Myles Garrett is going to, you know, the Raiders helped Myles Garrett in his quest to break the regular season sack record because he now has 17. What is it, 21 and a half?
22 and a half.
22 and a half?
Yeah.
So, look, but 2 good defenses. One offense stepped up with a rookie. The other offense didn't. So let's bring in Jason Horowitz to try to make some sense of what we saw again, Jason. And, you know, it does seem like the same script, right? This offense is not good. And that's just the fact right now. And they have to play, 6 more games. And that's the reality. You can't just say, we're not good, we're banged up. What do they do to try to salvage something?
So, you know, Amber, this is my 4th year as the play-by-play announcer for this team. And my first year, they were 2-7. Last year, we know they had the 10-game losing streak and now 2-9 on a 5-game losing streak. But by far, this has felt the worst and the most frustrating. And I say that because 2022, they were 2-7, but they had all of these double-digit leads that they blew, which is kind of like how the Giants have played this year, right? They're 2-9. They've had all these double-digit leads, including today, and they've lost all those games. That's what the Raiders were 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Last year, there was fight on both sides. There were some close games. This has been really frustrating, and something has changed the last 2 weeks, or really the last 6 days. Dallas on Monday night, and then here against Cleveland. Something just is drastically off, and all of that fight and all those close games that we saw at Jacksonville, Chicago, Denver. This is drastically different. And, Shedeur Sanders' first career start, until that 66-yard pass by Dylan Sampson, which he did all the work, he didn't really do anything. The defense did a really nice job, except for one broken down play on 52 yards. But the headline's going to say Shedeur Sanders wins his first career start, and Raiders' offensive line, I don't really know how you fix that, Amber, and I think that's something we're going to talk about really for the next 6 games.
Yeah, for sure. Offensive line, definitely issues. There's not one person, and we talked about this pregame, that you can leave on an island with anyone, not name Myles Garrett. But let's get on to the defense side of football. The positives, right, of the defense early in the football game. What did you see there in some of those aspects that are positive?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we talked about Charles Snowden against Denver. He had the 6 tackles and the tackle for a loss, and today he had some really good plays. The interception, he dropped back. It's harder for a guy like that to catch a ball when it's thrown right in his midsection. He did, and that was a great play. And he had a couple other plays where he set the edge. I think he's playing nice opposite Max Crosby. Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz, guys, had a big play early in the ballgame today, and you saw Max Crosby kind of like lift him up and give him a bear hug, because it has been a massive struggle for him to get stats, really, since he had that good opener against New England. And so you saw some of that, right? Max had a bunch of tackles for loss late today, career high 5 tackles for a loss. I think it's the 4th time in his career he's had at least 4. So you're seeing that he doesn't quit. Eric Stokes continues to show he's really good. I think there was some positive there. Yes, you had the 2 breakdowns on the long defensive plays, but that's just going to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong, EA. I mean, you were a Hall of Fame defensive player. No one's coming out of this game talking about the defense or the positives. I don't think anyone's talking about any of that following today.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I wanted to bring you in on that.
What up, big dog?
Here goes James.
It is frustrating, man, and I feel you. And to be honest, man, I appreciate you coming on here, keeping it a buck, because it is frustrating because we came into this season, you got Geno, you got Brock, you draft Genty, obviously you got Max Crosby, you got high hopes that we're going to be in some of these games, competing in these football games. I'm just still trying to figure this out. Offensive line giving up 10 sacks in the ball game. This game was 14-3 forever. They were 3 of 12 on 3rd down. Our defense was playing lights out. Why are we dropping back, passing it 44 times? You said Shedeur didn't play that well. What did the Cleveland Browns do? They ran the ball and they played good defense, and the quarterback make 1 or 2 throws. Why don't we have that formula? We just keep dropping back and we can't protect Geno.
But let me ask you something. Can we run the football either? That's the other part. I'm with you on that. I think it should be more, and it's get a little bit more skewed because of how many times you're passing when you're down 17-3 in the 4th, 24-3. So it's a little bit more skewed. But they ran the ball, 21 times today, and it's less than 3 yards a carry. And so you've got to tell me that they can run the football if you're going to do what you're saying, and the answer to that is no. And the other part to that, James, is the penalties are starting to really kill this team, and they have for a few weeks. But again today, even if you get a positive play, you're pulled back for holding, and now you're looking at 2nd and 18. And we did this at halftime. I don't know if you guys had this. The Raiders were 1 of 9 on 3rd down in the first half. Do you know what the average yards to go on 3rd down in the first half was?
No.
It was 3rd and 14.
Wow.
3rd and 14. So
you can't win.
Part of that is that, yes, the sacks, part of that's that, but part of that is the penalties. They had 6 first-half penalties. So, look, you want to talk about bad football, right? Penalties, sacks, bad offensive line. All of those things are combined, and that's how you get a 2-9 football team.
Yeah, but the main thing, though, Jay, we play action passing on 1st down, incompletion. We did that 6-7 times in our drives. 2nd and 10, we hand it off, we get 3 yards, and like you say, sometimes it might be a penalty. But all I'm saying is we have came out in football games consistently and threw the ball 40-plus times. When are we going to come out in a football game consistently and say, we're going to run this thing 40 times possibly. We're going to get into some big boy formations. We are going to try to switch this thing up because obviously throwing it 40 times and our offensive line being wounded is not helping this football team. We don't even know what Genty could do with volume right now. We don't even know if he's going to break tackles when the defense is tired.
Yeah, let me ask you, and he left the game injured, so hopefully we'll get an update, and hopefully he's okay. But let me ask you this, because we saw Quinshon Judkins lined up in Wildcat. He scored 2 touchdowns out of that in the first quarter. You know, could you snap it to Ashton? Could you snap it to Brock? Those are your 2 best players.
I think you could do anything right now. Right? You could do anything different right now.
And that's all I'm saying is game plan.
Right.
Game plan that type stuff.
Yeah.
Like dropping back 45 times is not helping us right now. It ain't helped us all year long.
I got a question, G. Go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, 55 because he was sacked 10 times. So it's 55 dropbacks.
True. So here's one of the questions I have. Clearly, this is not a team that's in the playoff hunt. You're already thinking of what you can do for next year. Why, with this offensive line, are we not seeing our 3rd-round draft picks that were linemen, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant? Let's see what you got. And then you have Tyler Lockett, you know, who knows if he's going to be here, Trey Tucker, who's a good player. But I'd want to see some Jack Besh and a little more Dante Thornton. Why aren't we finding out what these rookies have?
I don't know. And, you know, what's going to be interesting here, and I know you guys are going to take Pete Carroll soon when he hits the podium. What's going to be really interesting, I have no doubt someone's going to ask him, when Jordan Meredith went down in the 4th quarter and they had already pulled Will Putnam from the game because he was really ineffective at center, and they put Alex Kappa, who I think has never taken a snap at center until today. Caleb Rogers was doing some warm-ups on the sideline. He thought he was going in. And they put Will Putnam back in the game when Jordan Meredith got hurt, and they moved Kappa to right guard, and Putnam went back in at center. And Kirk and I talked about it on the broadcast, and I know the people who cover this team are going to ask Pete Carroll about it. He was visibly frustrated. Caleb Rogers was visibly frustrated. The entire team was to the right of the 50 where the play was. He walked down the sideline and was consoled by a couple other people on the other 40 and then turned and watched the play. I think he's probably wondering that same question. The 3rd-round pick out of Texas Tech who started, 55 times in his career for the Red Raiders. To your point about Charles Grant, you know, I think when you draft out of William and Mary, you know that Geno's already running for his life every time he takes the snap, so I think you're a little bit more concerned on that part. But I don't see any reason why that question is not going to be asked about those 2 guys. And to your point about Jack Besh, I don't know what the final numbers are today on the game book. My gut is he was on the field for less than 15 offensive snaps. And, you know, Dante Thornton had that 1 catch over the middle, and it was a fairly routine in route. But it felt like this was this massive play for 12 or 13 yards because he's only had 1 catch since week 3. And you've seen all that frustration. So all of those things are going to be asked. They're going to be talked about. You know, the front office, Pete Carroll, the staff, they all have to figure this out and try to figure out. You have this big draft class, right? It's a really big draft class. It was 6 guys taken in the first 4 rounds, and Ashton Genty and Darian Porter are really the only 2 that are playing.
Yeah, you got to figure out what you have going forward. That's for sure. Jason Horowitz, we appreciate you being here with us. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you after a win.
See you guys in L.A.
See you in L.A. All right, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day. When we come back, Pete Carroll is taking the podium. We're going to take you back out to Allegiant to see what he has to say. Raiders lose this one 24-10 to the Browns. Raiders Game Day is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Modelo, a reward for those with a fighting spirit. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly, imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois. And by Cox, proud partner of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back as the Raiders lose this one 24-10 to the Browns. Lots of questions for Pete Carroll after the game. He's now at the podium as we send you back out to Allegiant.
Better lighting today. Go.
That was not a good performance, and there were a lot of boos out there. For the fans that have maybe lost a little bit of hope right now, what would you say to give them some assurances that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and there is room for hope?
Well, something good's just about to happen, and if you can hold on to that mentality, then you keep believing that you can turn and make things happen, and that's kind of what has guided me for all of these years. And so I've not been here, but it doesn't change. That's the approach, that's the outlook. Yeah, it's disappointing that, they turned out, we had a great crowd, and they were loud and helping and all of that, that they walk away here so dissatisfied. And we're pretty disappointed about this one. But if you don't score, you can't win, and we couldn't score. And it was an incredible game of defense on both sides, their team, our team. The numbers are, whatever, they're next to nothing. And we had opportunities to make big plays, and we didn't hit them. QB was under duress the entire time, and so our ability to match up with their pass rush didn't work out well. And so I'm really disappointed that we weren't able to find the plays that could have given us the field change and the switch so that you have a chance to knock one in and get out of there. Unfortunately, the penalties this is a crew that calls the most penalties in the NFL, and they hit right on their head, right their number that they always call. And we knew that. We had a strategy about it. We were trying to stay out of their targets, their sight lines, and we didn't get it done. And so we endured a number of penalties, but there was a couple really big ones that really made a difference in the game and changed the field position drastically. So I know y'all want to know, like, where does it go with the quarterback versus the pass rush and all that. Well, we have to protect the quarterback a whole lot better than we did. And, we tried the guys we thought had the best shot to do it. Willie turned his ankle, and so Cap got in there for a little bit, and then he went back. I think Will came back in the game at the end or whatever. He may have been able to return. But we had a bunch of scheme, we had a bunch of strategy and slowing the thing down, but we couldn't hold up, and it was really unfortunate.
Pete, piggybacking off what you just said, you've got 2 third-round rookie offensive linemen. When you're giving up 10 sacks and your team has the record it has, was there any thought going to those rookies, getting them some experience? It couldn't have been worse after 10 sacks.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. It couldn't be worse to just try something else. But we watch practice every day, and we watch the film, and we do our work to make our evaluations. And those guys are going to have their day. They're going to have their time, maybe sooner than later. But based on what we've seen and what we know, we're giving it the best shot we can. And yeah.
Pete, there were a couple of times. You said that. Obviously, sorry, over here. Sorry, over here. Obviously, you said Geno was under duress a lot of the time. There were a couple of times where he had some time to throw and he wasn't able to connect with Trey Tucker. What do you think is happening there? Their inability to connect a lot on those deep balls.
Yeah, uncharacteristic misses there, because there was like 3 of them when Trey got behind him, and we had some real shots and opportunities, and he did have a chance to get the ball out and clean and all that. We need to hook those up, and there's no doubt. Trey ran as hard as he could, and he got open. He was behind him. He's got to put the ball on him. Those would have been plays that could have saved us on a day when we're struggling, on other downs. And that was really unfortunate, because we really did have the right opportunities there for us.
Pete, to your left here, just back to Kappa going to center. When did he first start taking snaps at center for you guys at some point of practice? And if so, why did you guys feel better about him at center rather than moving Jordan back and throwing one of the rookies in there at right guard?
Because we thought our best shot was to keep Jordan playing at guard and the first thought. Cap has been kind of snapping all along, and more seriously lately, to give him that opportunity. He looked pretty good at the spot, and we thought, based on our practice time and evaluation, that it was better to have Jordan there and have Cap jump in at center. We had thought that if that would have happened, earlier in the game, that's the way we had planned to go.
Pete, my first question is, how's Ashton, and do you think he avoided anything serious when he went down?
Yeah, they said that he tweaked his ankle, and I don't know how bad that is. They're going to check him out right now. I don't know that. But there was an ankle day. About 3 different guys had ankle issues. He was one of them.
Follow-up question. Sitting at 2-9 right now, the decisions you make, whether on the roster and who plays and who not, moving forward, how much will that be dictated on what you want to see moving forward into the future?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about all that and see where we are.
Obviously, you allowed 24 points tonight, but you still had 2 turnovers. Do you really believe that the defense is still playing good enough to win these games, and it's kind of more on the offense to step up?
There's no doubt. They had a 2-yard drive, and they had a 20-yard drive or something like that. I thought we played great on defense tonight. And there's the one big breakout screen. We just screwed it up in terms of the way we contain the thing, and that play goes. The other one was, I think, is a 4-yard drive, 2-yard, whatever it was. The guy catches the scramble bomb. It's a great play by Shedeur, and that's a lot to ask to stop them in that situation. Our guys played great tonight, I thought, all night long. I mean, they ran for 50 yards or something like that, and they had 2 plays that were worth the rest of their offense. And so I was really proud of the way those guys battled and the situation that we put them in and all that. I just wish if I had to do it again, I'd kick the field goal, at 14 to make it 14-6 or something like that. So we're within 1 score. We went for it in 4th and 3. I mean, that's totally on me.
Pete, how much right now of this offensive struggle is execution of players, offensive line, chip? How do you balance that out, sir?
You mentioned execution of players. John McKay once was asked, what do you think of your team's execution? And he said, I think it's a good idea. But I never did really understand how he was willing to say that, but I just did it. So anyway, we have to execute better. We have to match up better. We have to do a lot of things better to get the kind of play we need. And we're looking at us in practice, and we're able to do it there. We get to carry it to the games, and the other teams are out there playing too.
Pete, overall, right over here, Pete, center.
Thanks.
Overall, just how would you assess Shedeur Sanders in his first career start?
They won the game. He did good enough to win the game, and made the play of the game really was the scramble play, and that was an extraordinary ball that he threw on that one, and that was really the one that I think was kind of the dagger in the ball game as it turned out. That changed things.
Pete, I know that you approach this season with a lot of optimism, and it's obviously things haven't gone the way that you had thought that they were. You've expressed some surprise about that. In retrospect, or now, do you think that maybe, okay, this is a little bit further off than we imagine, and it's going to take work now to get this in the right direction?
I've never not thought it would take work, to get it right, and it's a challenge every season. Look at all, how the seasons go, and it's a day-to-day, week-to-week world we live in, and of course I thought I haven't been in the situation, so I thought, well, maybe I could have something to do with avoiding this, so we're going to keep doing what we know how to do, and that's to keep grinding. This team, just in the locker room right there, they ain't giving up on each other, and I'm not giving up on them, and they're not giving up on me, I hope, and we're going to keep battling and work our ass off just the way we know how to do, and that's really what you do, and try to make the right decisions and the right choices with the personnel and all of that as best we can, and in our world, they got to show it, and that they compete to show it, and that's always been the way, and we won't change that.
Be over here to your right. I don't know if you mentioned it, but Michael Mayer's status. What do you know about his situation?
Yeah, it was his ankle too. Yeah. He had an ankle sprain, and like I said, there's 3 or 4 guys that got tweaked for one way or another. I don't know the severity of any of those at this point.
Coming up next on Raiders Game Day, the Browns' pass rush was brutal. JJ and EA break it down next. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm AJ Green. We out at Allegiant Stadium. Shout out Raider Nation. Let's get it.
Flavor Flav in the building. Guess what?
Me and my son.
We in the building, and for the Raiders, we outside.
Gene Dawson, Raider Nation, you know what it is. You know what we doing.
All right, all the celebrities out at Allegiant Stadium. Still, the Raiders lose this one 24-10. One of the big reasons was the Browns have one of the best defenses in the NFL. We saw that today. 10 sacks on Geno Smith, 20 quarterback hits. What broke down on the Raiders side? To break it all down, let's turn it over to JJ and EA.
All right, Amber, we're going to show you. This is the guy here, Myles Garrett, one of the best players in the National Football League right now. And we're going to show you just how this defense is able to attack our quarterback. Obviously, great disguise at the line of scrimmage, so you're thinking something here. We're going to bring a blitz. They do a great job of disguising, backing some guys off. With that late blitz by the second-level defender really gets everyone confused because the focus is on, of course, 95.
Yeah, and no doubt. But this is why I say that Geno needs to have the ability to check in some of these plays.
Yes.
Because if they showing empty, you know the ball is going to have to come out of your hands fast. He does not check out of this. The corner was off at 9. Throw a hitch, and let's get on about our business.
Exactly. And again, at the second level, the defenders at the second level are able to get pressure on the quarterback because you have so much focus on all these down players, and you just continue to have breakdowns at that second level pickup by our offensive line and our offense. Again, an opportunity to get quick game going, maybe help this quarterback.
This right here is actually a good play by the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
This is a disguised blitz, but we all know probably all during the week, hey, listen, ain't nobody man-to-man on Myles Garrett.
That's right.
Double team Myles.
There's no island players.
This is what happens when you got a big-time pass rusher. They double-teamed him, and he came free.
Yeah, look at that focus on Myles Garrett here, and you have one-on-one opportunities. And what you see here with the Cleveland Browns, even the last couple of games, great coverage. Look at all the eyes on the quarterback downfield, filling those zone situations at that second level, those linebackers or safeties, eyes on the quarterback, knowing that that pressure is going to get there.
No question. And this is another thing, too, though. Geno has to speed his time clock up.
Yeah.
He's circled for a reason.
Right.
He's coming off the edge every single play. Sometimes he's in the middle, right? You know that Myles Garrett, you got 2 to 3 seconds right here.
Relentless.
You're holding the ball too long. Throw it away. The play ain't there. The play ain't work. That's okay. We live to fight another down. But once you go there and you go there, throw it away.
Right. A great point. If you're a receiver, wouldn't you have some kind of routes when you know this person can get there to where you're going to have an outlet that's there quickly if the players don't match up to the game plan?
But that's the checks, though. That's what I'm saying, EA.
Okay.
At the line of scrimmage, when you're playing with a quarterback that has full range of the offense, when you see empty, hey, tap the leg, hey, that's a hitch, that's a smoke route. Get the ball into your hands quick and let's go. So now we're going to talk them out of playing empty because we're going to get the ball out of our hands. You can't have long developing routes and they bringing pressure.
And that's the same thing that keeps coming up each and every play. You see, there's really no opportunity for Geno to check the ball. He can't, or the receivers are not in the area to be able to help on that short throws.
And these are the same stunts that they were running all game. Obviously, the pocket collapsed on him right here, but these are long developing routes. At this point in the game, we've had 6, 7 sacks.
Yes.
It's time to dial up some quick stuff. Right here, when I see stuff, I wish we would have paused it right there, but when I see stuff like that, just throw a quick out to lock it. Check a quick out.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett won't even get here to make this play.
And what's important, too, to understand is this is not the first time we've been in this situation before. Last week, go back to Dallas, all the creative opportunities the Cowboys gave themselves. So we're making the same mistakes over and over, not having people able to come up, and they're just having a party around Geno Smith.
Can we go back to this play really quick? If we can, I just want to show the fans kind of what I'm talking about. Look at Lockett. He's in here in the box. The corner is off back here.
Right.
Throw it out.
And it's fourth quarter, so we've seen it enough times to be able to adjust.
All you got to do is look out there and say, hey, lock, boom, 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 out. Give him something. He's going to run it out. It's a completion.
Okay.
I don't understand. We just didn't have answers for the blitz. I don't understand it. Look at, he's running to get covered. There's nobody out there.
Yeah, you can't have a rookie ashing on the best defensive player in the National Football League over the past 4 or 5 years. One more time, we see this from the backside, and I understand getting the pocket moving, but you got to have that clock, Geno. You got to have a receiver there, offensive coordinator, to be able to give Geno an opportunity to get the ball out of his hands. Offensive line has been a disaster the last couple of weeks, facing the #1 guy in the league. I know all the focus, but you can't leave him on an island. We don't have any island players. We don't have any offensive linemen who can get on the island with any lineman right now, let alone Myles Garrett.
Well, first off, there ain't nobody in the world in the National Football League that could get on the island with Myles Garrett. He got 12, 13 sacks in the last 4 games. He only had 3 against the Raiders, so he's killing everybody. We have to have a better plan for him. We didn't, but kudos to the Cleveland Browns defensive line. They got after the Raiders, man. They had a good plan, but we have to have answers. Amber, I hope you got some.
I don't have any, but I do have one big number. That's for sure. Take a look at this one. 3. That is the points scored by the Raiders off of turnovers since week 8. Do you know how many turnovers they've had since week 8?
How many, Amber?
6.
Woo!
6 turnovers. 2 were today, and they were only able to score 3 points off of 6 turnovers. And today, if you remember, the Ball was turned over at the 26-yard line, only able to get 3 points.
That's just one. Defense getting the ball, taking it away.
That's the momentum shift that you need and the offense needs to capitalize on. And when we talk about complementary football, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yes.
Defense hands you the ball, you better do something with the ball more than just 3 points. But that's kind of the way that this Raiders offense has been going. They're last in the league, 15 points a game in scoring. They're one of the worst rushing teams in the league. They're
Red
the worst in red zone, highest in interception rate. Got to figure out a way to get back on track. Got the Chargers coming up. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Geno Smith takes the podium. This segment of Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the official soft drink of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back to Raiders Game Day. Another tough day for Geno Smith. He once again takes the podium at now 2-9. We send you back out to Allegiant Stadium.
Geno, you have stood up there when it was your fault and taken the blame, and have stood up there when you wasn't your fault and taken the blame. And after 10 sacks today and you were running around for your life, I mean, just how difficult is it in the NFL when you have no protection to execute an offense?
You know, it's really on me. I got to make better plays, find a way.
Geno, where do you guys go from here at 2-9 and kind of keeping that hope and the hopefulness that there is some light at the end of this tunnel?
We just want to continue to get better each and every week and, you know, find ways to get better as a team, get better as an offense. We have to score more points than we score.
Geno, P has said often that this has surprised him. He never thought it would be like this. Looking back now, is there anything you saw? How surprised are you at 2-9, given where you started the season, what your hopes were?
Yeah, we haven't won the games that we needed to win, and we haven't played good enough to win more games. So, you know, as a quarterback, I put it on me.
You've battled through tough times in your career before. What did you learn then that you're trying to lean on now?
You know what? That's a great question. I think what I learned is that I'm super resilient, and I'll always be.
Hi, Geno. You had a few big plays down the field that you guys weren't able to connect on. How do you look to clean that up moving into next week?
Yeah, we got to hit the big plays down the field. Got to hit the guys in stride and, you know, make those plays.
Geno, over here, obviously, I mean, this is a career high 10 sacks you took today. What would you say, if anything, would be like the through line for what was the difference between what you faced today and what you've seen in the past?
You know, I wasn't counting the plays or the sacks, so that's new information to me. I was just trying to go out there and execute and try to get the job done.
Geno, in the first half, it looked like there were maybe two separate plays where maybe there was miscommunication. Not everybody knew what the play was. Could you talk us through it? And was that the case? Was there miscommunication on each of those plays?
I'm not really sure which plays you're talking about, but we got to do better, and we got to execute better as an offense.
Go, Levi.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't even matter. Obviously, when you're in a situation like that, and you know you're taking the beating that you're taking as a team, you know, how as a quarterback and as a leader of the team do you coach up those guys on the field to continue to make them keep on going out every play and trying their best?
Be the example. Continue to get up. Continue to hold my head high and be as strong as I am, and continue to push forward.
You guys all good?
Thank you, guys.
All right, so it's tough to listen to Geno Smith on the podium because this has not been the season that many expected when he came to the Raiders, because he had some successful seasons with the Seattle Seahawks. He made two Pro Bowls at the time. But look, we've said this is not an offense that needs to be, number one, running 72 plays and then 44 dropbacks after 46 the week before. You know, what do they do at quarterback, guys? Because some decisions have to be made. It seems like Pete Carroll is going to be loyal to Geno Smith, right? That's what all indicators are. AOC wasn't even, he was a healthy scratch today. Yeah. And then Kenny Pickett's the other option, a guy that they wouldn't put in. Remember a couple games ago, I forget what game it was, when Geno Smith literally was limping like one leg, and they wouldn't put Kenny Smith in to finish the game. So what are the options? What do they do?
Well, if we go to what Pete is all about, and it's about competition, it doesn't matter what position you're at. It's about competition. If that's going to be the theme of the locker room of this football team, there needs to be accountability at the quarterback position. He's in a bad slump right now, so you got to find a way in practice to have someone compete with him to see who the better player is to help this football team.
I think you just got to be 100%. Because if you move on from Geno, Geno's not going to go back into the game this year, and he's probably not going to be on this football team next year. So if you are going to make that move, you got to be 100% that we are moving on from Geno. If we put AOC in the game, if we put Kenny Pickett in the game, because if you do that, I don't think it's going to be right to put Geno back in the game. So you just got to be 100%. But we're struggling right now, man. And usually when you're struggling at the quarterback position, receiver position, you got to find ways to get better. Geno's struggling right now. As much as we love Geno, he's struggling right now. I would love to see AOC go in the game and just see what AOC can bring.
To be fair, though, it doesn't matter if you put Joe Montana out there. This offensive line is rough. If you're allowing the quarterback to get sacked 10 times, AOC is not exactly mobile, so it's not an easy fix. A lot of decisions to be made. All right, we're going to take a break here on Raiders Game Day. More analysis when we come back as the Raiders lose this one 24-10 to the Browns. Intermountain Health understands that life can be a challenging game, and mental wellness is vital to our overall health. It takes courage to admit when we're not okay, and even more to reach out. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, call or text 988 or visit strongestplay.com for mental wellness resources. Raiders Game Day has been brought to you by Allegiant, the official airline of the Raiders. Low fares, nonstop flights, only at Allegiant.com. Credit One Bank, the official credit card of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And by Twitch, watch, discover, join in. Welcome back. I think everybody is thinking the same thing. Where do we go from here? And clearly this is not a playoff team. They're going to go out, they're going to play 6 more games, but now the focus has got to be on the future. This was John Spytek's very first year as the GM, and he's going to have to make some personnel decisions. I didn't want to cut you off because I thought you had a really great point about AOC. You know, putting him in, you think he'll, just one of the immediate things that we could do is maybe give AOC a chance. And I was thinking he's not mobile, but you had a great point about why he might be an option.
When AOC comes in the game, it's going to be a different game plan. AOC is extremely smart. AOC is going to get this ball out of his hands extremely fast. He's going to throw this ball away. We watched AOC play last year.
Yeah.
He didn't take a lot of sacks last year. He knew where he was going with the ball. He was getting the ball out of his hands. So I just think it'll change if he comes in the game, the way that, you know, he calls the game. But AOC's capable, man. And I think right now where we are at, being, what are we, 2-8?
Yep.
Where we are at being 2-8. 2-9 now. Knowing that the playoffs are out of the picture. We got to see what we have in other players. If we don't, we ain't going to know what these players are capable of. And then you waste 6 games of getting them some true experience.
You have to have the youth movement at this point now. And I thought it should have started after the Kansas City game. You start to have opportunities for those young players to get valuable time for experience, and then find out what you're going to have for the next couple of years with the team. So if Max is going to be a part of his team, who he's going to be able to lead, who Ashton's going to be able to lead, who Brock Bowers is going to be able to lead. You have to find out who you have on your football team and how they're going to play into your team into the next couple of years. So you can go into the draft next year and know exactly, okay, we need to strengthen this part, need to strengthen that part. You're not going to be able to do that if you don't have all of these young players who you drafted early playing football. You got to get these guys playing football.
And you got to get the quarterback position right.
Yes.
Every team that has turned around the franchise, they've gotten the quarterback right. I know that the Commanders have had trouble this year, but Jaden Daniels turned around last year. I think we missed the window for the free agents as far as Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. You know, with the Colts last year. So in the draft, unfortunately, this isn't a quarterback-heavy draft coming up. There's really only 2 guys, Dante Moore and Mendoza, expected to go in the first round. So nobody knows how John Spytek feels about them. But you got to get your quarterback
But I
situation
thought we did it right, though. If somebody was to tell me, man, you want Daniel Jones, you want Sam Darnold, or you want Geno coming into this year, give me Geno all day.
Well, Sam Darnold had a great year last year.
He did, but just over the career, give me Geno. He's not playing well right now.
Right.
That don't mean Geno's a bad player. That just means you're not playing right now. This is the National Football League. When you're not playing well, you get benched. Or when you're not playing well, you don't go out there. That's just the name of the game. I've been benched. I don't know if Hall of Famer been benched, but JJ, you dropping passes, get out.
He ain't never been benched. All right, we're gonna take a break here on Raiders Game Day.
What is that like?
More to come when we come back.
It's a lonely feeling. You know what I'm saying? Sitting over there.
I've been on the bench. Always a fun time for the in-game entertainment at Allegiant Stadium. We always get excited to go there and see all of Raider Nation. Check it out, the national anthem.
She killed it.
She killed it.
Yeah.
I didn't know who she was. Cassidy Pope, but she's won Grammys.
Grammy.
Yeah, and there's a reason, because she was awesome. We know him. That's our guy, James Lofton, Pro Football Hall of Fame.
One of the fastest guys in the National Football League, but I caught him on the back end of his career. He was at practice with the Eagles. Woo! I was on that hip, boy, talking to him.
It looks like he can still play. There's Don Felder. There's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Figure out how we ain't lit that torch, man.
Oh, Greg Townsend.
Super Bowl
Shall we just passed over that, what you said?
Well, Eric has lit the torch, not us.
Freddie B.
Hey,
Fred, that's my guy. 2'5", man.
Famer.
Freddie B.
Looking good there.
Prime.
Sanders.
Prime in the house. Look at him.
It was
excited
good to see Prime.
Yeah.
I gave him, we used to
I love that dude,
co-host,
man.
gave him a big hug. It was nice.
Prime's a good dude.
I've known Shador since he was 2.
Oh, wow.
So it was nice to see that. But you know what? Happy birthday.
All right.
To our Hall of Famer.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Come on, everybody. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday.
Funny thing is, my birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday.
My partner JT the Brick's birthday's today, so
Man,
we'll cut it up.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, JT.
Nothing for you.
Happy birthday,
either.
my brother. I know, man.
You know I love you guys,
I
man.
ain't even got no.
Appreciate you guys.
All
right, Marcus.
You got to cut that.
You gotta cut it. We need, and we can't
I know
have
Marcus
candles
is probably
because
responsible for this.
we can't have candles, by the way, because this here at the facility is beautiful,
Can't
and we
burn
don't
it
want to
down.
burn it down.
Can't burn it down. 30 years old.
I hope you had a good one
old.
yesterday. You went to dinner. You saw the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere.
I'm right
All
behind
good.
you.
All right,
Awesome.
let's hope the Raiders can get a win for you
Yes,
next week.
I know.
Let's take a look ahead at what's going on. The Raiders got.
They
go to LA to play the Chargers.
Right.
Look at these divisional matchups, and then back home against the Broncos. And
that
then
last one.
The Eagles.
That last one. I don't know.
Eagles pulled out the win over the Cowboys,
they lost.
right? Oh, they lost.
Yeah.
It was happening while we were on set. So they did lose, man. The Eagles.
Back in the day, those just
that's a tough
used
run.
to be. Yeah, that's a
That's
tough
a
run.
tough run.
Good quarterbacks, good players. But we play the Broncos well. We play the Broncos well, and hopefully we'll celebrate this. I'm gonna keep this like this until we win a game.
No, we're gonna
Right
eat
here.
that thing.
Right here.
You got
on
James
this
Jones
desk.
here. You think he's gonna let Sweets go for a few minutes?
I can't get
Look at that.
Look at
That's looking
that.
all good. Look at that.
Hey, you can save it, but I'm gonna cut my piece though.
Huh?
You can save it.
Oh, we got the bag. Look at eating the bag. Okay, I see ya.
Look, he got
Light
the
the torch.
That's him lighting the torch.
Light the torch.
About James Jones.
Oh man.
All right, I think he's done. Look, Raider Nation, you have to believe what Pete Carroll says. You have to believe good things are coming.
Yes.
That they'll put something together because look, you can't hide. You got 6 more games to go out there and fight
And compete
and prove that you want a job for next year.
Don't take my cake, James. Don't take my cake, James.
Oh, James came back.
And we're not going to be this bad forever.
No.
You know.
Keep the faith. He doesn't even know what
Light
to
the
do.
torch.
He's so
Stand
upset
on the other
about
side, Jay.
Look how happy.
Stand on the other side. Yeah.
Look at. You can't even see me. Look at that. Oh, Amber, you laughing, huh? Oh, that's funny, huh?
We'll see you guys next time.